Welcome back, MMAOddsBreaker. Today we got Terrion Ware getting ready to fight Higo up on RFA 29, coming up August 24th. You came up a loss this last fight. It was a unanimous decision loss to Luke Sanders. Can you take me through that process of during the fight, kind of your mentality? Like most of the folks at home aren't fighters. They're not in there one-on-one with somebody. They don't understand the mentality of a fighter when okay, I might have lost the first round. I definitely lost the second round. Now I really got to turn it on and try to finish this guy in the third round or whatever. Take us through the first round. Your mentality, what's going on in the first round, if you can remember, because I know a lot of times too, you're in the heat of the moment. It's tough to think back of what's going on.
Yeah, and in the first round, he hit me with a body shot early on that I was surprised with. He came out and his striking was a lot better than I thought. He hit me with a body shot, and I went down. It's the first time I've ever really been dropped in my career, and I was thinking, I was like, oh man, I hope the referee doesn't try to stop it right away. So the first thing I had to think to is get back to my feet and and get back after it. So after the first round, I knew I was down. Going to the second round, I was trying to find my rhythm, and I didn't really pick up my rhythm until the third round. And then somewhere along in the third round, I got poked like in the eyelid. My eye started swelling shut. So the fourth and fifth round, I knew I was down 3 rounds, and I knew all I could do. I had to finish him, so I just tried to keep going after him. I rocked him a little bit in the fourth and fifth round, but wasn't able to get the finish. He did a good job. He came in with a great game plan, and he stifled my offense, and he got his own offense going. So it took me a while to adjust, and by the time I adjusted, it was just too late.
So in boxing, you get tagged a little bit, like you got the body shot in the first round. You're able to tie a guy up and kind of slow things down until you can recover, or run a little bit, guard up, and then recover. In MMA, the only place you really can tie a guy up is if you jump to your back and hold him, like wrap with his arms and wrap your legs around him. There's no other real place to go where you can kind of tie up and not take a lot of damage. So you have to run to get your win back from a body blow like that. But you took a body blow, so you can't really run. It's not like a headshot. A headshot, actually, your legs are still moving. A body blow, it affects your legs, where all of a sudden you can't move as much. How did you feel like that you recovered during that first round after that body blow and being able to get?
I felt like I recovered really, really well. I don't know what it is. I usually take body shots pretty well. He caught me. Just one of those things. You get hit in the liver. There's nothing really you can do about it. I recovered really well. I think it's an attribute to my great conditioning. But I recovered really well. After I got up, I fired some shots back, and he's like, okay, maybe this guy isn't as hurt as he thought, and he kind of backed off a little bit. And the pace of the fight wasn't really super fast. So I had a chance to, I didn't really have to move way too much. I could just, move my feet here and there a little bit and, just, protect my body, make sure I didn't get hit there again. So the course of the fight, I feel like I recovered really well, and I carried, my speed and power well into the fifth round. I just wasn't able to get the finish that I needed.
So, what adjustments have you made to get ready for Higo? Was there anything that's gone differently, or anything you've done differently to kind of? I mean, obviously it's a freak body shot. There's not really anything you can do to prepare for that shot. So what else? But what else have you had to adapt to get ready for Higo?
I actually just went back to my old style. I mean, in the Sanders fight, I didn't use any feints. I didn't really use footwork very much. I took his striking for granted, something I've never really done in my career. And he's a lot better striker than I thought. He improved a lot from his last couple fights as well. He had a long layoff between my fight and his last fight, and he improved his striking a lot. And I thought I could just kind of stand in front of him and walk through him. And that wasn't the case. So I've kind of gone back to what I've done before, is using my speed, using my footwork, doing a lot of grappling. I just earned my purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So I've been doing a lot of grappling, a lot of wrestling in prep for this fight, as well as working on my striking. Just working with professional boxers, working with pro kickboxers, and getting some good sparring in at different places. Um, I thought I did. I thought going in, I would be able to do the things that I worked on, but it was going in, I thought it was the correct game plan, but I tried to fix something that wasn't broken, and I changed my style up. And it's just not my style. I'm not a power striker. I try to stand in front of them and knock them out, and that's not my style. My style is move, use a lot of feints, use a lot of speed, and if the knockout comes, it comes. If not, I just beat a guy up for 5 rounds. And I didn't use that. I tried to knock him out, and it didn't work out well for me.
I also think too that you have an underrated submission game that I didn't see you use at all against Saunders, and actually I haven't seen you use it in a little while. Like you've been really spending your time up on your feet, trying to put people out with your feints and your movement and your punching, and not really going after your submission game. But your submission game is actually pretty decent. How come you don't use that more, especially with how hard you hit? You can actually transfer into a grappling game a lot quicker because the submissions are there for you to grab them if you just decide to grab them. But how come you never go that way? Is there a particular reason why?
No reason. It's really been something I've been working on getting comfortable with. My background is striking, so sometimes I get into the fight, and I've never really been outstruck in any of my fights up until my last fight. So I just really didn't feel like there was a need to. A lot of times when we go to the ground, it's usually someone taking me to the ground. And if I can't get right back to my feet, then I use my jiu-jitsu game. But I've been working on really just my offensive wrestling as well too. When I came into the sport 5 years ago, I had zero background when it comes to any kind of grappling. So it's taken me a while to get my offensive, wrestling going. And I feel like I've really put that together. I've been working with a lot of good guys in wrestling, going down to Black House, working with Kenny Johnson as well as working with some other, really good wrestlers. And I feel like I've really putting it all together. So, I think in this fight, you'll see me go for some takedowns and try to get them. And if it does go to the ground, you'll see me using, some of my grappling techniques.
Terrion, thanks for coming on to MMAOddsBreaker. I really appreciate it. It's actually been a pleasure to interview you, and thanks for being honest about how you changed your game plan. It was the right game plan, but it forced you to change your style. I prefer you, personally, watching you fight, I prefer you to use your old style feints, getting in, getting out, moving around. It caused a lot more action, but of course, I also like to see you use your grappling game a little bit more. I do believe it's underrated. I believe that it's better than you're letting the fans see. And I think you should start letting us see it, but also, too, don't change what's not broke. You're a striker. That's your base. That's your home. Stay at home. When it gets down to cracking, you got to start throwing some punches back. But I think this fight's a good fight for you. I think it's going to be a high action fight for you. I think you'll be able to stay right in his face and make him throw a lot of punches that he's going to miss. And so I think you can, at worst, win a decision. But I also think you can stop him with your hand speed.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it's a really good matchup. He's a good record. He just came off the Ultimate Fighter Brazil, so it's a really good win under my belt, and I'm looking forward to going there and just showcasing my well-rounded skills.
Have a great rest of your training camp. We'll talk soon after you get done with this fight.
All right, thanks, appreciate it, Frank.
Take care, bro.
All right, you too.